Good morning. How are you? My allergies are kicking my butt today. Hello, Network Bib. Good to see you again, mate. What am I doing? Working. Doing my job. And then talking to you. What's up, Stefan? How are you? Hello, Duck D's. How are you? Good morning. Stefan, you're bad. Are you bad because it's still the deload week? Are you still suffering from not suffering in your workouts? Yes? Okay. Yeah, I figured that was what the case was. I've only heard you say you're doing bad a couple times, and it seems like it's usually related to your workouts. Can you help me out with something else? Sure. What can if I can help? I mean, I'm not the most helpful individual, you know. So if I can help, I will, but I might not be able to. Started noticing that I have more and more anger issues. How do I calm the fuck down? Ducties asked if you use steroids. Yeah, yeah. If you use steroids, step one, step zero, part zero is to stop using them. But no, Stefan. On a very serious note, when I was in high school, Yeah, high school. I'll say high school and maybe my first year of college. I mean, even growing up, I always had a terrible temper. Um, Terrible temper. And it's something I seem to have passed on to my youngest kid. He's very quick to anger. Um, like that's his default emotional reaction to things is anger, which reminds me of a lot of myself. And what helped me was in my freshman year of college, I started using this app called Headspace after hearing about it on the Tim Ferriss podcast. And for whatever reason, that practice of meditating using that app, um, I did it for like almost 5 or 6 years consistently, all the way through college and a couple years after college. Um, I don't know, like it made me a much calmer, much more centered, I think, individual. I'm sure there's probably like a biological or neurochemical reason for that, but I mean, obviously, you could go the traditional route and do something with something related to therapy, right? Work with like a cognitive behavioral therapist or something. But I feel you, man. That's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling to feel angry. You feel out of control. You feel like you're gonna do stuff you would regret. So I feel for you there. But yeah, that's my only personal anecdote. Is I've never done much therapy myself. Meditation seemed to help a lot with my emotional regulation. I feel like as a parent, I also notice after having kids that like the quality and the amount of sleep I get has a huge impact on my ability to regulate my emotions. If especially thinking back to when my kids were little, like babies, like there was never a period in our lives or me and my wife's lives where we were more irritable or quick to lose our lose our chill than when you're not sleeping very well or very much. So I don't know. Maybe that could be part of it. Maybe your sleep is not very good. Sleep quality is not very good. But if you're usually pretty calm individual and you notice a shift in your emotional state, then it's likely there's something going on, right? There's like an environmental factor to it, I would have to imagine. It could be the deload week, right? maybe maybe it's the fucking deload. Yeah, I mean it could. I mean, there you go. um, but yeah, network bib. I have to make a presentation for the language Dutch. Luckily, you can choose your own subject. I choose AGI. Nice. Yeah, therapy's great, network bib, right? Like I've never done much therapy myself, but those people have a lot of skills and a lot of knowledge and a lot of tools. Hey, Butterscotch, what's up, man? How goes things? Stefan, you used to get in fights in school? That's risky business, right? They'll kick you out. Yeah. That's too bad, man. Well, you got to forgive yourself. I mean, you know, it's like there's a really good Ted Lasso quote about that, right? Um, which if you don't know the show Ted Lasso, this won't make sense, but there's a quote from this show called Ted Lasso, and he says, the main character in it, he says, I hope that either all of us, I hope that either all of us or none of us are judged by the actions of our weakest moments, but rather by the strength we show when and if we're given a second chance. You know, can't you can't you can't dwell on the stuff you've done in the past, right? What's up, Killian? Killian Vivas Ruiz. That's a username right there. Bo show. Like, I don't know. I guess I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't like bullying kids for nothing. But if someone just wasn't rolling the way I wanted, I would start a fight. Well, maybe that was just your frontal lobe still developing, you know? Like the executive functions in your brain. I mean, that's something you have to remember, right? Like as kids, as teenagers, as even as young adults, right? There's parts of our brain that are still very much coming online. Me and my wife talk about that a lot with our kids. Like you know, especially, you know, in those early years, 0 to 4, 0 to 5, like you can't reason with a toddler. Like it's not possible. Like that part of their brain doesn't really exist yet. And so yeah, as you're growing up as a teenager, you're kind of in the same boat where like you just don't make the best choices, largely because you just don't have the mental faculties to make good choices. Which is why you have parents, or why you should have parents, right? Hey, what's up, Artwork Studios? How are you? You doing well? Probably late where you are. In Discord today, there was actually a really good question in the Discord this morning when I got in there. I'm sure some of you guys saw this question. Was it Syntax Queen? Syntax Queen asked it, and she was asking about like, how do you get more confidence in your coding ability or your knowledge, I think, around coding. And my answer was like, the biggest wins I've had in terms of confidence about my ability to code or my understanding of how to code comes when I can explain or teach something to someone else. That is like the number one moment where I feel like, yes, I understand this. So if you don't know about my Discord, you should join the Discord because there's a lot of cool people in there. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I think a lot of people that are here are already in there, but if you're not, you should join it. Network Bib, I would explode like a kid when someone was singing. I grabbed a kid. Dang, Network Bib. That's intense, bro. Artwork Studios. Yep, no sleep and exams coming in less than a week. Living the life. Nice. Well, hopefully you get through the exams and then you can rest on the fruits of your laurels. My kids are almost done with school too, so I know it's that time of year. Everybody is trying to finish on a positive note, you know? Which I get it. Stefan, the rubber duck method, I like it. Yeah, I think like there's definitely the rubber duck method for sure when you're like trying to solve a problem. But like I know that I could clearly, like, for example, here's an example, like in the .NET ecosystem, understanding service lifetimes is really important when you're dealing with dependency injection. And I know confidently I could go teach other people about service lifetimes in .NET, and I could use concrete examples of it and be confident that people could walk away with their own solid understanding, right? And so that's a good point. Like when you know something so well that you feel like you can teach it, I feel like that's a good benchmark to measure yourself by. Artwork Studios, I'd probably fail Chinese, but other than that, it's probably fine. I was a good student in elementary. Starting secondary be hard. Yeah. I mean, yeah, school just gets harder and harder, right? That's no matter what you do, they just keep ramping up the difficulty on you. I personally feel like the one downside with school at the moment is I just think there's a lot of wasted time. I think there's a lot of like repetitive, when I think about my education, I probably took somewhere in the name of like 3 to 5 general biology courses from middle school to college. And it just seems like you shouldn't need to be taught the same material 5 different times, and it wasn't necessarily because like I didn't know it, it's just like each school has a curriculum and you got to follow the curriculum. Yeah, that's my biggest, like, I don't necessarily think it takes 8 hours to have a productive school day, and nor do I think it probably takes 12 years to prepare somebody. 12 years of 8-hour days, or 13, I guess it's 13 years in the US, 13 years of 8-hour days for 200 some odd days a year to prepare somebody to be a human being or be an adult. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of inefficiency there. Butterscotch, for me, it's visualizing the solution to a problem and knowing that I can solve it. Even if I don't know a proper solution, I can make it work. Yeah, I feel that too. Yeah, I feel that too. And I think that's where, when I get to that point with a particular technology or a particular language, that's usually when I say, yes, I know that thing, right? If you present a problem to me and I can roughly in my mind sketch out what I would do, yeah, I think that's a big confidence builder as well. And it's a good indication, right, of like, I know my shit. Our work studios, yeah, it's all the same. Lots of homework, a lot of excess stuff, unneeded stress, etc., etc. Yeah, it's just, I think there's a lot of filler in there. Maybe it's not that way in other countries or other places, but definitely in my own personal experience with the U.S. education system from K through 12 and then doing a bachelor's degree, I just feel like, man, there's got to be a way we can dry up this, to use a programming, concept. There's got to be a way to dry up this process a little bit, because it seems very wasteful and repetitive. I've always thought that in the United States, I've always thought that nursing education is kind of an interesting proxy for like what I feel like at least college educations should be like, very practical, very applicable, very pointed curriculum, like designed to prepare you for a job. I don't know about though, like K through 12. I'm not sure how you do K through 12 differently, especially just given like all the societal and structural things, at least in the US. I know everywhere else it's probably a little different. I always have to remember that. There's actually people in my chat that aren't from the US, which is not like something I don't like. It's just I never would have thought people outside of the US would ever care about any content I ever made. So it's kind of cool to have people from different places in the chat. Stefan, what do you think about Australian strength coaches' vids? I've never heard of that guy. Never heard of that. Australian strength coach? Sebastian Oreb? Is that who you're talking about? Sebastian Oreb? I love how this guy calls himself a strength conditioning coach, but it doesn't sound like he's actually worked in a strength conditioning setting. Oh, yeah, okay, so it looks like he started off, I'm reading his bio, it looked like he started off training general population people, but has now moved into more of a strength conditioning setting. Oh, he worked with the Mountain, huh? Yeah. I'm guessing that's where he's gotten a lot of his... What other athletes has he worked with? I mean, he seems like a legit guy. I've never seen any of his content, but if everything in his bio is true, it sounds like he's very legitimate. Fitness professional, exercise science professional for sure. Yeah, I'd have to watch more of his stuff to make a judgment call. He trains he trains the Mountain. Yeah, it seems like he knows his stuff. Oh, he's super strong himself. He trains a few record holders. Yeah, so yeah, it sounds like he's a really knowledgeable dude. It sounds like he's had a very successful career. More successful strength conditioning / fitness career than I ever had. You know? So but yeah, I'd have to watch more of his content to be able to speak on anything he said. But you probably don't. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I mean, if anybody here is familiar with the fitness or strength conditioning world, that world is not always based on merit. The smartest, most knowledgeable, most educated person does not always rise to the most prestigious or most visible places in that industry. Like I'll bet like a large majority of the fitness professionals that I respect and think a lot about, very few people have ever heard of. But if you're in the fitness world, if you're in the strength conditioning world, then you know of them. But yeah, that guy seems legit. So no. I found his YouTube channel. Dude's stacked, man. 661 pound squat. Woo! That boy can throw some weight around. I love his name too, Sebastian Oreb. That sounds like just a jacked, strong man, doesn't it? Yeah, that's awesome. Network Bib, I have a math test this Thursday. I don't know shit. Well, you better put in the work, Network Bib. You better figure it out, because the math test is coming whether you like it or not. Yeah, I subscribe to his channel, Stefan, so I'll watch some of his stuff. Wonder if he's natty, you know? You think he's a natty? I don't see not that it really matters. I don't see he seems self-taught too. That's cool. Artwork says, is my YouTube broken because I can't find any new messages? I don't know, man. YouTube seems to be working okay for me at the moment. But on the other hand, he does 100 kg body weight and does 210 kg bench. Yeah. I mean, you never know with people. I mean, not that I have a problem with anybody who's geared versus natural. Like you do you for whatever your goals are. But I think it's always helpful to know that, because then you kind of understand the context in which that person's, living in and experience they're speaking from. Hey, what's up, Pablo? How are you? Everything's good. I have a meeting in a couple minutes, but wanted to say hi. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you guys who like pop in and just to say what's up. It's very kind. I'm hoping the meeting is like a good, what Stefan said. I'm hoping the meeting is productive and a good use of time, and you get something out of it. Is anybody here checked out React Router? The new React Router? I need to do that. That's actually something I need to add to my list of... Let's see. I need to add that actually while I'm here at the moment. I know that's not really related to the office hours stream, but it just came to mind as I was scrolling through. I haven't spent much time in React land recently, but I know I need to stay up on. I need to stay relevant, Pablo, did you get to watch the VidMotions video? I did. I thought it was a great video. I can see how you would be convinced to learn VidMotions after watching that. Although the thing is though, with everything you said, I'm so aspirational to actually be that fast or that productive at working or using VidMotions, but I'm not sure I'll ever get there. Like, I've spent so much of my life using a mouse, and sometimes those habits come back, and I just don't know if I'll ever become like the Primeagen level Vimfoo user. So I don't know if I'll ever accomplish the benefits that he discussed, but I definitely prefer editing with VidMotions. Even if I'm not the most productive VidMotions user, I definitely enjoy it. Pablo, I use React Router. It's great. Depends on your use case. You can find it helpful. Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to check that out, because that's kind of like the next iteration, right, of what's the proper way to do SPA rendering with loading. I think React Router also supports... Does it support server-side rendering? React. The new one, React Router v7 SSR. Yeah, I'll have to do this. I'll have to put I don't want to dive down that rabbit hole right now. I'll get completely distracted from what I'm supposed to be doing. Framework mode. Yeah, okay, cool. So I just need to learn. I just need to sit down and do that. See Artwork Studios, have a good night. Stefan, just get rid of your mouse. Ugh. Yeah, but what do I do when I'm outside of, like, because a lot of the times during the day, like, I don't just live in the editor, right? Like, I'm in the editor, but I use Slack, but I use my browser a lot. Like, it's just not practical, right, to, like, not have a mouse. I mean, if the whole world always designed and built things with keyboard first motions or navigable by keyboard, you know, if everything was accessible in that way, definitely would open your eyes to people who can only use a keyboard, right? Like all the difficulties they deal with. Pablo, I want 1% more speed. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Where like Vim Motions has gotten me like 1% more speed. But I should be much faster. Try to solve this. Man, I haven't done math like that in forever. Well, you're gonna have to get all your terms, right? Hold on, why are there two equal signs? Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen an equation like that. If I have, I don't remember it. I don't envy you, Network Bib. Good luck with your math, man. Butterscotch, what's your typing speed? I honestly don't know. Let's see. I have a plugin for that. Let me see real quick. Typer. No, Typer. There we go. All right, I'm gonna run through this really quick. Oh goodness. All right, ready? Well, I don't know why that didn't work. I'm trying to measure my typing speed. It says 65 words per minute, which doesn't seem very fast. And it's probably even slower when I'm writing code, right? Stepping on Windows, you can enable to use your arrows as a mouse. Use that. Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could do that. Pablo, I want to set Vim motions for everything all at once. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like when I work in Google Docs, you know, or things like that, you know, or rich text editors. Now I always try to use Vim motions. They don't work everywhere. So I look like an idiot. Yeah, that's the downside of learning Vim motions, is because then you're sharing your screen in a work call and you're driving people around a Google Doc and you can't stop typing J K, J, K, I. You just are spamming all these random letters, and then you're like, wait a minute. Vim motions don't work here. Toad Sage, I hate Nix builds, man. They take a heck of a lot of time. Nix? I don't think I'm familiar with that. Also, yes, hello Toad Sage. Hope you're doing well. Pablo, I'm at 70 words per minute, not fast either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think typing speed is a good measurement for productivity, in my opinion. I mean, I was a medical scribe, so like, if you're dictating to me and I need to type, I can type. Like I can get after it. Like if you know, and I can do it one-handed. Like a lot of the times when I was a medical scribe, I would have to type one-handed. I have to hold the laptop in my left hand and type with my right hand. Like if we were in a patient room doing an evaluation or something. So I can type when I need to, but I don't know if typing speed is actually a good proxy for productivity when it comes to things like programming and coding. Although I know some people will disagree. Stefan, Nix is a package manager turned into a distro, which is not technically a distro, but it's called a distro. Well, that makes the most sense ever. Nix is a package manager. It was turned into a distro, which is not technically a distro, but it's called a distro. Butterscotch. I average 120. Highest was 139. Nice. Pablo, I don't type much, to be honest. I press tab a lot. LOL. Yeah, I want to make a T-shirt that says "Tab your way to glory" or something like that. I want to make some sort of like coding, programming inspired T-shirt, because I mean, who doesn't tab their way to glory these days? You know, whether it's AI autocomplete or just general intelligence, right? Toad Sage, just assume that Google Docs support VimMotion, and you are worth sharing a screen. Stefan, nice that you know about Nix. What's up, KJ? That's a good set of emotions there, man. Coffee, sunshine, the mountains, some chill vibes. I like it. Hope you're doing well, dude. Hello, Oxnell. Good to see you back. How are you doing? Stefan, I used NixOS for a while, but I don't anymore. Now I'm a Bash script kitty. You know, I mean, people hate on people for being script kitties, but like, or they make fun of them, right? But I tell you what, there is nothing more enjoyable than writing yourself a small, simplistic, maybe not so simplistic script that solves a problem for you. You know, I mean, there's just something very satisfying about doing that. It doesn't have to help anybody else. It just makes your life a little bit better. Oxnell, I tried to do a raise in Bash and went insane. Yeah. They don't make it very ergonomic, do they? I mean, I'm sure like someone like Dave Eddy, the You Suck at Programming guy, he would just say that's a skill issue on my part. But I mean, honestly, right? Like, are arrays in Bash as intuitive to use as they are in JavaScript? That's probably a hill I'm willing to die on. Oxnell, what are we doing today? Today, well, later today when I do take lunch, I'm probably just gonna keep working on my Discord thing, my Discord bot. So yeah. But right now, what we're doing is I'm doing some work and talking to you guys. That's kind of, I do like these office hour streams is mainly a way, just as an opportunity to just chat with you guys, answer questions, or talk about whatever's on your mind, or yeah. Just primarily as a touch point. Cisne Swan? Is that what? Or duck? I can't tell what that emoji is. Said hi. Hello. Good to see you, man. Stefan, is this said hi when someone is on the phone? Yeah, I think it's a button people can push on the phone that will send that text. I've not seen it, but I believe so. Hello, we are chatting right now? Yep, we're just chatting. Good to see you, Ivan. Hope you're doing well. Ivan is our newest F Sharp friend that we made a couple streams ago. Thanks for coming back, Ivan. Appreciate you. Toad says, let's go Split, NeoVim, and Arch. Best productive system for me. Well, that's wonderful. I think everyone should be able to find their, their sweet setup, right? Oxnell. I was being lazy, to be honest. I already wrote a Python script, and I wanted to automate the script execution, so I did Bash rather than Python. Never again. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I do understand why it can be useful to know, if you know something that's very native to the OS, right? You know Bash, you know PowerShell if you're dealing with Windows, right? Because then you don't really have to add anything additional, right, to get work done. But yeah, you can't, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that someone finds Bash more intuitive than Python, just from like somebody who's standing still, literally never done anything before. I have a hard time thinking that would ever be the case. Stefan, let's hook Steven up with a Glove 80. What's that? Is that a split keyboard? Oh yeah, it's a split keyboard. These things are kind of expensive though, man. Like, they're like the price of another computer. Let's see, shop. Yeah, $400. I mean, yeah, that's not really the price of a computer, but dang, that's expensive. But then I'd look like a real programmer, wouldn't I? Using my split keyboard. Cisne, I like this symbol dot HA. I don't know what you were trying to say there. KJ, I'm busy gardening today. Anything with coding names come to mind with plants? Yeah, nothing comes to mind, KJ. But gardening sounds like fun. Is it nice weather? Hopefully it's not too hot. Cisne, I had a vocal lesson day. Nice. Well, very cool. Are you trying to learn how to sing? Stefan, let's all write our scripts in Holy C from now on. Yeah. That's one way to do it. Steven, for context about Nick's build, I'm updating my OS and it's already 1.5 hour and still not done yet. That doesn't sound fun. That sounds like a reason not to use Nix. Oxnell, it's crazy when you know that LeanPeens, the privilege escalation tool for Linux, is built with Bash. Is that some sort of like hacking tool? Privilege escalation tool? That sounds like something somebody would use who's up to nefarious activities. Toad says, no problem, man. Someday you'll get a sponsor. I don't know if I'll ever have sponsors, but Yeah, I don't know, man. $400 for a keyboard, that's pretty pricey, but I mean, granted, again, like with some of you guys who write code 100% of the time for your living, like I can see investing in tools like that. Dumping a lot of money into a chair, dumping a lot of money into a keyboard. So I totally understand that. Cisna, yeah, I'm trying to make my singing sound better. Awesome. Well, very cool. I'm sure vocal lessons will serve you well. Today was 44 degrees Celsius, hella hot. What's 44 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? 111 degrees Fahrenheit? Where the hell are you? That's crazy. See you, Butterscotch. Have a good day, man. Stefan, Nyx is great for the same reason as Gentoo. It forces you to touch grass by taking hella long to do anything. Yeah. I mean, that's that's one reason to use a piece of technology. You can bust out a workout while you're waiting on your build. Steven, don't forget to advertise your Discord server. Amazingly cozy place. Oh yeah, if you guys are if anybody's interested, what Ivan said, Discord. You're welcome to join. Oxnard, Saudi Arabia, bro. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you told me that before. Dude, 111 degrees. But you're in the desert, right? So, Oxnard, the Primeagen YouTuber, got sponsored by the Kinesis keyboard after he reached out to them. Oh, that's cool. Well, maybe I just need to do some outreach. But I don't think my channel has enough viewership or size that anybody would be interested in being a sponsor. But maybe I mean, what's the worst you could ask, and what's the worst they could say is no, right? So it's like Gary Vee says, right? Like, you don't want to say no for the other person. Overcast and small chance of rain. Maybe the high today is mid 60s to 70s. Soil's loose. A late Mother's Day present. Dude, that sounds like a joy of a day. 60 to 70s out in the sun gardening. That sounds wonderful. That's what we used to do growing up. That's what we did on Mother's Day every year, was plant flowers with my mom. That was like an activity she always liked to do. For the kids, it wasn't. For us, it was not always the most fun thing. But we did it because my mom enjoyed it. This year, it's estimated that here in Serbia, it will reach 50 C+. Yeah, yuck. It's been 80. It's been above 80 degrees the last 2 days. And both days, working out was miserable. I told my wife, I was like, okay, that's enough warm weather. I'm ready to go back to, let's go back to fall. Let's just skip over this. Oxnard, I mean, it's not a desert. Oh, are you sure? I thought Saudi Arabia had deserts. I mean, I know, like, you guys have big cities, but, like, the, isn't, like, isn't a lot of the geographic landscape kind of deserty? Or maybe desert's the wrong word. Maybe it's more like, what am I trying to say? Dry? Warmer climate? Yeah, I don't, but, like, I guess it makes sense. 111 degrees, that's like, you know, if you live in Arizona, you're gonna have 111 degree days, right? Well, Google says that, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, you live there. Google says that Saudi Arabia is predominantly a desert country, roughly 95% of its land area being desert. Is that inaccurate? Toad says Steven is careless about Discord. We have to remind him. Yeah, it's not as much that I am careless. I never want to come off as somebody who's like, come on, man, join my Discord. You know, I don't want to come off as someone who's like trying to sell people stuff, you know, trying to funnel them into some place where I'm going to try to upsell them. Oxnell, yeah, but not completely at desert. Yeah, okay. Thank God for AC. Yes, thank God for AC. For real, for real. Uh, I say that all the time. I'm like, how did people live back in the day? Everyone was just super sweaty and smelly all the time, I guess. Like, that's just how people lived. Stefan, today something great happened actually. Nice. Okay, gym owner told me that he bought a 300 square meter room right next to my gym. So my gym will get expanded. Ooh, that's awesome. That's very exciting, man. KJ, that garden sounds awesome. I love me some strawberries. Pablo Desert is correct. I live in the desert. I don't know. I don't think I could do 111 days very often. Essie, greetings from Finland. We have song about desert, Darude sandstorm, even though we have mostly forests and fields. Interesting. Yeah, that seems interesting that Finland sings about deserts, but Ivan, both Czechia and Ukraine are somewhat cold at the moment. Guess somebody at Saudi Arabia has been stealing our heat. Yeah, I mean it's wild. The Earth is a crazy place, man. Oxnell, yeah, but nobody lives there. That what I mean by Google is right. Oh, okay, all right. It's like nobody lives in the desert. I see what you mean. Watermelon sounds good too. That was my favorite thing. So when I was in high school and we did strength conditioning in the summer for sports, that was like the best part was like at the end of each week, one of our coaches would buy watermelons and like after all the workouts, you'd like cut up a watermelon and eat it. So good, dude. There's nothing better than a cold glass of water or like cold watermelon after a really hard workout or really hard practice. Just hits different. Oh, I also forgot to tell you guys. I have a hard stop at 11. Actually, I have a meeting at 11. Meetings. What are you gonna do? You know? Maybe if I can find some. Maybe if I can get Glove 80 to sponsor me and get some people to buy some keyboards with my referral codes, then I wouldn't have to attend so many meetings. My hometown is around 10 to 17 degrees, but the capital is 44 degrees. Dude, that's just insanely hot. How do you guys? I'm just curious. Like, how do you guys navigate that? You guys just stay inside. You guys like you have killer AC. I don't know. I just don't understand how do you buffer multiple or like years long, you know, weather like that. Just super hot. That's crazy. They just to get used to it. I mean, I'm sure adaptability, right, is a real thing. Evolution and where you grow up and where generations of your family grow up, like that's definitely a real thing. Stefan, I'll buy one to support you. I appreciate that, man. Whenever I get that referral link. uh, Oxtel, I paid 3 units of AC, cost me 10K. Maybe in your currency is 2,500. Yeah, you gotta have AC, man. I would say where you live, AC is worth every penny. So good. Am I tripping, G, or that painting behind you has math formulas on it? Yeah, it's a painting of Albert Einstein, but I'm not sure how accurate. Like I'm not sure how accurate any of the math or formulas are, but that's why it looks like that. Actually, yeah, what is the math? This is it's a painting of Albert Einstein. Let me see if I can show you guys. Yeah, it's just a portrait of Einstein. Now I've screwed up my frame here. All right, guys, I gotta head to that meeting at 11. I'll be on later though, so if you're around, come hang out. We're gonna work on the Discord bot. It's pretty much gonna be me writing a lot of tests, or trying to figure out how to write tests for WebSocket things. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Tuesday. And if it's Wednesday for you, I hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday. See you, Sogo. See you, Oxnell. Bye, Toad Sage. See you, Sogo. See you, Stefan. Anybody else who's here, hope you guys have a good day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.